It's crazy to think that Terrance McKinney and Farès Ziam didn't get the main card based on what they might be able to bring to the table. But both guys are young. I think there's a lot of potential on the table. You look at the way both of them kind of fight, right? Terrance McKinney, huge first round boost of energy. Like, it's incredible how much he's willing to just push forward and look for big shots. I was even looking at past tape, and that Derek Minner fight, it was the exact same guy we've gotten used to, but unfortunately he reverses a takedown, goes right into his guard and gets caught in a triangle. So it's one of those things where you just think about that developing ring IQ. He's got such athletic background. He's got the wrestling base to go with it. It's just, you need to get that experience. You need to have that mind where you just stay out of those dangerous areas. You talk about Sean Woodson, such a crazy, crazy, crazy fun boxer to watch. Great Muay Thai, and frankly, adrenaline dump on Dana White Contender Series. You saw Terrance kind of get finished in that fight. So it's like you're only now starting to really see him hit his stride, picking his shots well, using the chin movement, moving really quickly. And the one thing about this fight is I'm so curious how some of these guys are going to be when the third round rolls around. They attack so much in the beginning. You talk about a guy like Farès Ziam, who was able to really dominate a few guys in the early parts of certain fights, but that Malarkey fight, that last round really kind of cost him there, especially from a decisive win perspective. And I think you're going to be seeing a guy like Terrance McKinney, who's going to go really, really hard in the first. Then a guy like Ziam, who tends to deal with guys who really do that grunt work and force you to, pick your places, to get back to your feet especially, and look for open shots. Because Ziam was definitely struggling for a lot of that, but he's got good get-ups. His striking is very much on point, and that's half the reason you can see people are trying to take him down. But again, I think that Ziam's striking is something to take a look at. Power, obviously McKinney, he's got the power to go with it, but that's when you talk about, this is a fight that seems like people might say, won't go the distance because of those reasons, but then those are the ones that always tend to go a bit further than you'd think. But I really think that this just comes down to McKinney being a lot more mature in there, not looking to rush things and pick his shots, look for those openings. He's already gotten that one of the fastest KOs in UFC history. There's no reason for him to go for another one. But again, for Ziam, he's got to be patient. I think that he's got to actually ride out some of that time too. See how McKinney gets both in that late part of the first round, if you can start doing some damage. But that second and third round for both guys is going to dictate a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see one of them, maybe both of them, even try to just minimize the output of energy they have in the first to just make sure they're good for the second. But in that sense, you think about everything that goes into this fight, I have to lean McKinney. I think that Ziam, the struggles in the late parts of the fight, you even talk about the Venturini one in that third round. It's all kind of part of a pattern there. So McKinney minus 150 makes a lot of sense to me. I just think he's finally finding his stride, and even when you look at the losses, there's opportunities there for improving where it maybe just wasn't even his fault per se or a lack of skill. It was just a lapse of judgment. So let's take a look here. We've got minus 160 for my boy, and there it is. Terrance McKinney, a plus 110 underdog. Line hasn't moved much. You've got Farès Ziam coming as a minus 138. So let's see how it goes. Ziam's got a good chin for the most part. We've seen Terrance McKinney, Terrence Crawford, that's my favorite boxer. Terrance McKinney really find some power shots on guys who usually, can withstand a few. So let's keep an eye on that one. I think that's going to be one where McKinney kind of deserves some of your attention, but we'll see how things go this week.